Hello, and welcome to Celiac.com news. Subscribe to our channel to get the latest celiac disease and gluten-free diet news. And if you have any questions, be sure to join the Celiac.com forum online at celiac.com. And now, let's move on to the latest Celiac.com news. Will commercially available gluten digestive enzymes allow those with celiac disease to eat wheat crust pizza? People with celiac disease must follow a strict gluten-free diet to avoid triggering an immune response that can damage their small intestine. However, accidental gluten exposure still happens, often through small amounts in cross-contaminated foods or due to mislabeled packaging. Because of this, many people have turned to over-the-counter enzyme supplements that claim to help digest gluten. But how effective are these enzymes really? This study takes a closer look at how well these supplements actually break down harmful gluten proteins when taken with a typical food item, pizza, and whether they could help reduce immune responses in people with celiac disease. The primary goal of this research was to evaluate how effective three different commercial enzyme supplements are at breaking down gluten proteins in pizza. Researchers aim to understand whether these supplements can reduce the specific gluten peptides that are known to be harmful to people with celiac disease. To do this, they used a lab model that mimics human digestion from the stomach to the intestines and then analyzed the substances that remained. The study focused on three specific enzyme supplements. Supplements S1 and S2 contained a blend of digestive enzymes, including dipeptidyl peptidase 4, general proteases, and enzymes that also target starches. The third supplement, S3, featured a more specialized enzyme known as prolyl endopeptidase from Aspergillus niger, or ANPEP, which is designed to more directly target gluten peptides. To simulate digestion, researchers took pizza samples and ran them through a two-stage lab process. The first stage represented the stomach environment, while the second stage simulated digestion in the small intestine. At each point, the team measured how proteins were broken down and whether any harmful gluten fragments remained. They also evaluated how these digested peptides affected immune cells taken from people with celiac disease. The findings showed that all three supplements helped speed up the digestion of proteins in the stomach stage. This effect was especially strong with supplements S1 and S2, likely because their starch-digesting enzymes helped break down the pizza's dough, allowing other enzymes to reach and process the gluten more effectively. However, the third supplement, S3, A and PEP, showed the best results when it came to reducing the specific gluten peptides known to trigger immune responses in celiac disease. Lab testing revealed that the samples treated with S3 had significantly lower amounts of harmful gluten fragments compared to both the untreated control group and the samples treated with S1 and S2. Still, none of the supplements were able to completely eliminate the immune response. Even after enzyme treatment, the digested pizza still activated gluten-sensitive T cells, particularly right after the stomach digestion stage. This indicates that small but immunologically active gluten peptides remained in all samples. The researchers also found that the type of testing used made a difference. Two different laboratory methods, called R5 and G12 ELISA tests, were used to detect gluten levels. These tests sometimes produce different results, highlighting that no single method provides the full picture. In addition, immune cell testing offered a more direct way to see whether the food would still provoke a harmful reaction in people with celiac disease. So, what does all this mean for people living with celiac disease? This study suggests that while digestive enzyme supplements, especially those containing ANPEP, can reduce some of the harmful gluten in foods like pizza, they do not offer complete protection. These enzymes may help reduce exposure during accidental contamination, but they are not powerful enough to allow someone with celiac disease to safely consume gluten-containing foods. Strict adherence to a gluten-free diet remains essential. This study is important because it evaluates how these enzyme supplements work in real-world food scenarios, not just in isolated lab tests. It also demonstrates why using multiple evaluation methods is critical when trying to measure how well gluten is broken down. For individuals with celiac disease or gluten sensitivity, this research provides valuable insight into the true potential and the limitations of digestive enzyme products. In conclusion, Enzyme supplements may assist in breaking down gluten, particularly when they include specialized enzymes like prolyl endopeptidase. However, they are not a cure and should not be used as a license to eat gluten. People with celiac disease should remain committed to a strict gluten-free diet and speak with their healthcare provider before adding these types of supplements to their routine. Ongoing research is essential to improving these therapies and perhaps, one day, developing a supplement that offers more complete protection. To get the latest celiac disease news and information, be sure to subscribe to celiac.com news. Thank you for tuning in and see you next time.